So I know right now a lot of people are catching up on some sneaker releases, which they may have missed out on in the past. We just had a crazy summer full of several memorable releases. I got a few pairs, which I'm actually looking to double back on myself. But with that being said, we're going to be taking a look here at the road ahead, some upcoming sneaker releases, which we can look forward to here for the remainder of 2025, including a huge release date, which has just been announced. Now, of course, this is not every sneaker dropping, but just some of the pairs which I feel like a lot of people are most excited for with tentative release dates, which all of these dates are not 100% confirmed, but just at least some dates to kind of go off of. So we're going to kick things off with the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Fragment, the shoe which this past weekend everybody was going crazy for, excited for, anticipating, only to be let down, which they didn't actually officially drop, which is kind of crazy due to the fact that Jordan Brand nor Travis Scott's team ever officially announced this sneaker, but it looks like they did give us a hint that this shoe would be dropping coming up in November, which it looks like we do have a tentative release date of November 8th currently, which falls on a Saturday. So it would definitely make sense, right? As far as where the sneakers can be releasing. We do know that these will be dropping via Fragment exclusively in Japan. Of course, the Travis Scott website dropped, but a lot of these big names are saying these could potentially not actually hit the sneakers app and rather be a Travis Scott exclusive release. So with this shoe about a month away from the official drop, I would say don't count out an official sneakers app drop all the way together, because from what I've heard, there is some activity with this sneaker loaded on the back end of the sneakers app. Plus, when's the last time we've seen a Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low drop which didn't actually hit the sneakers app? For Nike, I feel like they would be missing out, right? With all of the people, downloading the app, all of the traffic that the sneakers app would receive. Plus, you got to keep the consumer base happy, at least give them a chance, make them feel like they actually have a chance to grab this shoe. So we'll see what happens with this sneaker right here. Let me know if you guys excited for this pair to drop, or do you feel like they're just overrated and just ready to move on from this shoe altogether? Next up, we got the Anthony Edwards 2 from Adidas, which they just announced the official release date of October the 4th. So this release is just right around the corner. And I know the influencers who were gifted this pair early are gonna tell you that the Anthony Edwards 2 is better than the AE1, but I would actually have to disagree on this one, right? So hear me out, right? I don't think the AE2 is a bad looking sneaker at all. Matter of fact, it's one that I'm actually looking to pick up. But when you just talk about the AE1, which dropped all the way back in December of 2023, I just feel like Adidas is gonna have a hard time recapturing that lightning in a bottle energy which they had for that original AE1 release, which had a lot more of a minimalistic design. It originally dropped in a high top version, then we saw lower top versions, hit the market. So when you compare the design of the AE1 to the AE2, it feels like they took a more maximalistic approach. I don't even know if that's the right word or not, but it's got more of like a max design, right, versus a minimalistic design. You guys see where I'm coming from, right? I'm not a designer or anything like that, but you understand where I'm coming from, right? So while they did go with that same OG with Love colorway, I would say, wow, this sneaker is not bad. I just don't think they're able to recapture that same energy from, say, the AE1s. And with this shoe retailing for 130 bucks, I think the price point is great. I'm not sold on this first colorway. I feel like it doesn't really translate too well with this model, but there are a cool couple colorways which I've seen pop out, which I'm definitely got my eye on. So while I'm not gonna probably pick up this first colorway, which is gonna be dropping on the 4th, definitely gonna be eyeing a couple of pairs of the AE2 here in the future, right? So, and just like a little hot take, I feel like the AE1 High was better than the AE1 Low. That's just my opinion. Next up here, we got the Black Cat 4s, which this one's scheduled to drop coming up Black Friday, November 28th. So this will actually be the third time we've seen Jordan Brand officially drop this sneaker. When you talk about the Black Cat 4, this is a sneaker which never had like a lot of hype, attached to the release, ahead of the launch, but it's just always been like such an essential sneaker, right? Jordan 4s, popular model, easy to wear, and they're all black. So while I don't think it's really so hype, it's essential, which is why this sneaker, which has always dropped and never really like sold out instantly, but then over time has sold out, and then of course has that crazy resale value. So it would be kind of crazy to think that, let's say Jordan Brand was to drop like over 100,000 pairs of this sneaker and these were to sit just like they did the last time they dropped, just like they did the first time they dropped, and then over time, sell out and then go up in value. I could definitely see history repeating itself with this sneaker right here, which again, you got the Black Friday release scheduled in there as well, so that might also bring in some of the more demand for this sneaker right here. So that's a cool one that a lot of people have on their radar. Moving forward, here we got the Adidas Jellyfish Gray, which that orange first colorway really like set the sneaker world on fire with its debut. It was a highly anticipated drop from Adidas. It dropped super limited. sold out everywhere, even with the hefty $300 price tag, and resale prices are going absolutely crazy. So while we know there's several unreleased colors, such as a green pair, blue pair, a black pair floating around, apparently the next release will be this gray version right here, which is supposed to be dropping coming up on October 1st. Now, when you talk about Adidas releases, I wouldn't stamp that exact date. Generally, like on the back end, they'll usually have like everything scheduled for the 1st, and then when we get a little closer to the dates, they update it with the exact release date. But I would definitely expect to see these drop sometime in October. And when you compare this sneaker to that original first orange colorway, I don't know, it's just something about the orange which I feel like is attached to the release. So for me, none of these new colors really will live up to that very first one, but my guess is these will probably be limited and just as hype as some of the other pairs. So I would anticipate these to sell out as well. And then of course we got a green pair, blue, and apparently a black version of the Jellyfish on the way. So let's keep things moving. The Jordan 1 Low OG Chicago, man, this one right here is special. Now, a lot of people are saying that when you talk about Jordan releases, like for the rest of the year, they're good. This is the only pair that they need, and then they're good for the rest of the year. Some people would even say like this is the only pair that they need, and then they're out of the shoe game for good, which I always hear people say that until the next hype Jordan release drops. But when you talk about this one, what makes this release so special, when you talk about Chicago themed Jordan 1 releases, we got the reimagined black toe earlier this year. We got the Bread 85 high, and then this one will kind of complete the trifecta of those original Chicago colorways. But of course, putting this self with a low twist, right? So these are dope. When you talk about Jordan 1 lows, it feels like nowadays a lot more easy to wear for everybody. So I think a lot of people got this one on their radar, right? Super clean, can't be mad at it. Everybody's excited about the big swoosh or whatever, which to me is cool or whatever, but I think this is definitely one that a lot of people are gonna be excited for. Dropping November 15th. Keeping things moving, we got the Nike GT Future Metallic, which this is one which has been on a lot of people's radar. When you talk about Nike basketball, they've been criticized, you know, kind of for like their lack of innovation. So this one takes us to the future, but it also contains some, you know, familiar elements such as the flight posit, the material of the foam posit. You guys see where I'm coming from. So it kind of gives like that late 90s, early 2000s vibes, but also takes us into the future. This is a sneaker which we've seen on the feet of rapper Wale. He's been doing a great job of, you know, showcasing these for all the sneaker blogs and everything. We did see an orange pair, which did drop exclusively for around like 300 pairs at this Nike event in New York. But as far as the first official colorway, which I'm seeing as far as a release date for the public, Soul Retriever is saying October 22nd for the debut of the GT Future with this metallic silver color. As y'all see, there is a yellow, you got the pink joints. Next year, we're supposed to see a Galaxy pair, but as far as this futuristic model from Nike, it looks like the debut will be this metallic colorway. And as far as the retail price on these, coming in at a hefty $200, which for some people would say is justifiable for a basketball model, but I would say with, you know, competitive models on the market, which are a lot more affordable, I think the price is a little bit up there, but then again, this is definitely one that I'm going to be checking for. And then lastly, while again, we got a whole bunch of shoes dropping to finish off the year, I wanted to highlight these Solefly Jordan 3s, as it looks like we have a tentative release date of December 6th. Now, when you talk about this collaboration, what makes this one so special, right, is I don't know if it's just me because I'm located in South Florida, but you know, with the touches of the orange and the green, paying homage to the city of Miami, like this one's already platinum down here. So you gotta love it. I feel like this one's keeping things simple, right? We don't have any elephant print present, but you do got the Nike Air on the back, a play off the white cements, but replaced with the, of course, iconic green and orange. So these go absolutely insane. As far as Solefly releases, the last pair that we saw drop, as far as those 12s, it seemed like that was a collaboration which the people were actually able to touch. With this one here with an expected date, probably will coincide with the Art Basel Festival taking place down here in Miami. I think this is one that at least South Florida, Miami, these ones are already platinum. We'll see how the rest of the country responds to this release right here. So some cool release dates, which we do have confirmed actual dates for the remainder of 2025. Let me know if you guys checking for any of these pairs right here.